national politics in this beautiful Twin Island. This evening, I thank you for coming out, and I say, long live the UNC, long live our political leader, and long live you, our soldiers. I thank you.
Now, you see, when I said she's small in stature but big in spirit, that was fire! MP, I just have to correct one fact. When you said the Minister of Local Government is close by here, you mean Westmoreland, because he's not in San Fernando where I am. So our next speaker needs no introduction. He served as one of the youngest, she served as one of the youngest senators from 2017 to 2020. She is the former Public Relations Officer of the United National Congress. She's a powerful champion for a better education system, and she acts as
the Honourable Political Leader, Mrs. Kamala Prasad-Bissessar, to my parliamentary colleagues, especially our Chief Whip and host here tonight, the Honourable David Lee. You know, Viliana, when I heard your introduction, you said he served as the youngest member, so I got confused for a second. I thought you were talking about Wade Mark. I said, couldn't be, you know. Senator Mark, as you know, I have a particular fondness for, because all of the training we had in the Senate, anything you see us able to do in the House of Representatives now, we learned at the hand of Senator Mark. And to my Tabakit family who are here supporting Point-a-Pear in Macaulay, I say thank you for your support, thank you for your constant drive for a better Trinidad and Tobago. I couldn't be more proud to represent the people of Tabakit when I see what you put forward on a daily basis. So you owe yourselves a round of applause. So ladies and gentlemen, why are we here today? You tune in to our cottage meetings, you come forward in our crime talks. You are part of a machinery that is geared towards making a better Trinidad and Tobago. You don't just come here because you like to hear us talk, I'm sure that's part of it. But a big driving force is that you know Trinidad and Tobago could be better. When I listen to my colleague, Ms. Vandana Mohit, we sit next to each other in the House of Representatives. And when we have to sit down in that parliament and listen to the nonsense that passes as governance, it pains me. It pains me as a patriot, as a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, to see what passes for governance in this country today. And it should pain you too. Because ladies and gentlemen, as Vandana spoke about Chaguanas East and the potential of her community, all of us, those of us who hold seats in the parliament, those of us who are shadowing seats for the United National Congress, we know the true potential of Trinidad and Tobago. The true potential of Trinidad and Tobago is not to line up for hampers. The true potential of Trinidad and Tobago is not to protest for water and beg for roads. The true potential of Trinidad and Tobago can be seen on the world stage. It is a global force. And it is because of the management of the People's National Movement that we are here today. We are in this state today. So let me talk about the state of the country for a few minutes. Those of you who come to our meetings, those of you who traverse anywhere in this country, you know of the infrastructure woes. Those of you who came here from Tabakita know you know about the infrastructure woes within our constituency. I have to spend my time, my precious time, writing letters to the Ministry of Works. I tell you, to this day, I don't know if Rohan Sinanan could read, because he has not responded to a single letter, not one day. So I don't ever want to believe that he is a disrespectful government minister who will not respond to somebody who is elected to serve people in this country. So I will believe that he has difficulty reading, and until he gets a little help, he will respond when he could get a chance. When I tuned in, regrettably, on Thursday to the PNM's meeting, because you have to hear what they're saying. You have to hear what they're giving to the public. What are they bringing to you, the hard-working citizens of Trinidad and Tobago? And to my amazement, I see a sitting Prime Minister, 8 years, 9 years as Prime Minister of this country, come to tell us that the PNM have plans and policies for this country. So if you had a plan and policy and you're in charge, what are you doing? Why are you still planning if you're in charge? If you have the plan and policy, do it. Why are you telling me, the citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, that you know what to do to make the country better? So what are you doing now? Lyman? Because it makes no sense. It makes no sense to come to the population of Trinidad and Tobago and say, I know what to do. I just ain't doing it yet. I mean, when we sit and we listen to what they are coming to tell us, all we have to do is point to the state of our nation. From the roads to protest for water, to the education sector, to the healthcare sector, to the crime situation. And you know what the right answer is. You know what the right thing to do is. Imagine the Prime Minister had some words from my colleague, the member for Maruga Tableland, that the only thing she's known for this time is burning tires. Well, I said to him, the reason my colleague had to burn tires is because 5 years before that, when the PNM held Maruga Tableland and government, they did absolutely nothing for the constituency. And so, for you to come forward now to chastise a member of parliament who is sitting in opposition while your government mama-guide the people of Maruga Tableland 5 years ago and come to mama-guide them again now, you are truly shameless. Truly shameless. I have within my own constituency students who cannot go to school because of the state of the roads. Can you imagine that? That you are unable to attend school in Mamaral, that you cannot attend school in Caratal, the Caratal RC school, because of the state of the roads. You feel we want to protest? You feel we love to stand up in the hot sun to beg for basics in this country? The PNM needs to have some respect for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Have some respect for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And deliver on your job. Do not come 9 years in government with more promises and zero delivery across the board. The Prime Minister took issue with us asking questions about the Prime Minister's conversation and how much it cost, etc. But you know, when Mrs. Kamala Persad-Bissessar was Prime Minister, these national conversations started. The point of the national conversation was to go to the public and say to the public, this is what the government has done to improve your life from 2010 to 2015. That was the point of the national conversation. It isn't to come now and campaign for what you will do, because you are the government. So you took a good product, that is the national conversation, to make it a mama guy product, because the PNM has no track record of delivery to deliver to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. When we look at the education sector, I had to move a motion in Parliament 2 Fridays ago. During that motion, the Minister of Education, who likes to hit my little duck and run, so during the budget debate, she decided to speak after me, because she is my shadow. And then for this debate, she came to speak after me, so you got a chance to respond. I made it very clear to the Minister of Education, all you had to come and tell us was what you have actually done. It's not that hard. Say, this is what I did, and this is how I made the education sector better, this is how I improved. That's it. That's it. You gotta come say that and sit down. This Minister of Education came to tell me that I was sleeping on the job. But you're the one who have the job. It's your work. So if the thing falling apart, how I could be sleeping on the job? It could only be you. Imagine as she's standing there, making excuses about the education sector, as she is there, a school in Toko burning down. The few days later, 49 bomb scares, the children out in the hot sun, confusion everywhere. And all I said, it would be simple. It would be critical thinking. It would make the most sense if you allowed and enabled principals to make critical decisions in times of emergencies. You don't need a degree to tell you that. You don't need the PhD to tell you that. You needed common sense. And if you are unable to think on your feet, to enact policies to make the lives of children in this country better, then you do not deserve the job. My poor colleague, Vandana, had to respond to the other Minister of Education, who came to tell us that we brought no substance. But in saying that, she had no speech, nothing to respond to. And when I tell you the PNM bad mind, they will take credit for anything. Imagine the minister in the Ministry of Education came to take credit for my education and tell me I receive a PNM education. I don't know if they give that out in Balize House because I never went. So I could never have no PNM education. But the point of having an education is to have critical thinking, is to use your brain. It's not to take what people tell you and then just run with it, not to just be silent and say, okay, they say it's this and it's that. So you telling me, you stand up to defend the education sector, and your defense is that I have a PNM education, so that means the sector good. You know how long ago I went to school here? You know, and furthermore, I went to school, the UNC was in government, so you're very wrong about that. Ladies and gentlemen, as I come to a close on my conversation here with you today, you will hear from many speakers. You will hear about the state of the country. You will hear about what is going wrong within the country. But you will also listen, you'll understand that the UNC is a vehicle for change and progress within this country. You will understand that UNC is here, united in a cause to bring hope to a hopeless nation. That the voice of the UNC membership is important. It is required for nation building that you have a strong and able alternative for the government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Building this country is UNC business. Every progressive idea that you see that they are taking credit for, if you look back at the genesis, it has been UNC business. When you think about track record of development, when you talk about what this country is able to achieve, it is under UNC programs and UNC development. I am proud to have chosen to be a member of the United National Congress. I am proud to stand up in the parliament as a member of the United National Congress because I know when I stand up, I stand for development. I stand for progress. I stand for hope. And so I say to you, to the people who are here in the room with us tonight, to those of you who are locked on, to those of you who will listen, now is our time to stand up and be counted. If you believe that Trinidad and Tobago could be better, could do better, then that means you believe the UNC should be in office. If you believe that when a student leaves school, that you finish your CSEC and your A-levels, you go on and you do your degree, you shouldn't be in any member of parliament's office begging for a job if they could help you. If you believe that that must change, then you believe in a UNC government. Then you believe that a UNC government is the option. If you know that you are not supposed to be protesting for basics, water should be a given, the road should be a given, then you believe in a UNC government. Then you believe that the UNC should be in government. And there was once a time as a nation that we could happily proclaim God is a Trinity. We were so confident in ourselves, in our ability to withstand anything, that we believe God is a Trinity. And in 9 years, Keith Rowley and his band of incompetent people has taken us all the way down. So much so that we shame to even raise our head and say God is a Trinity. They try to take away the saying now. Can you imagine that? And so, ladies and gentlemen, the United National Congress remains the only vehicle for progress. The United National Congress is the only space that can make and build Trinidad and Tobago, the Trinidad and Tobago that we deserve. And I thank you.
Those at the quality of our women speakers in Parliament. Let's give them both a round of applause. Vandana Mohip and MPAs. Other members of Parliament, Dr. Rakram Buru, MP for Faizabad, MP Rudy Indar Singh, Kuva South, MP Senator Wade Mark, First Mayor Siparia, Meru, give them a round of applause. Welcome. Chairman Gauri Rupnarayan, Senator Damian Laida, and Bari Padarat, Princess Tong, I see MP Ravi Ratiramani Bak. Let's give our MPs, our hard-working MPs, a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Senators, all the men, councillors. And I see my colleagues from the Kuva Tabakita Alparo. I just want to mention one thing. We are in the 6 months of the fiscal year, and Kuva Tabakita Alparo has not got any releases on 6/12 materials and supplies. So when you see you need a pothole patch to my Burgesses and all the Burgesses of Kuvata Bakita Alparo, understand it's not your councillors denying. It's Arawi, Rowley, Coleman Boat, and others. Our next speaker, no stranger to point up here. He has walked in the trenches for many times. He has first entered Parliament during the Third Republican Parliament as an opposition senator in 1990 and has served as a senator in the 4th, 5th, 6th, 8th, 9th, 11th, 12th Parliaments. That deserves a round of applause by itself. Making him one of the longest serving senators in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. In the 10th Parliament, Senator Mark was elected as Speaker of the House of Representatives, and he gave them real thunder. He is a former chairman of the United National Congress, leader of opposition business in the Senate, and is in the Senate. He's up, and it is up to Mark. Put your hands together for our brother, Senator Wade Mark.
Very much, my dear brother Rajbal and his co-host, Councillor. Let me recognize all my parliamentary colleagues here this evening, and councillors and executive members, and of course, all you beautiful, lovely people of Pointe-à-Pitre. Ramadan Mubarak to all our Muslim brothers and sisters. This evening, I want to spend a few moments dealing with 3 subjects, but all intertwined. Economic mismanagement, political blackmail or extortion, and betrayal of the dreams, aspirations of the people of our beautiful nation. Brothers and sisters, dark clouds are gathering on the horizon. A catastrophic storm is brewing. The social decay is palpable, and you can feel it and experience it every day. The Emperor, Papa Doc, is naked. He has no clothes. the architect of our demise is naked. He comes now to campaign for what? He wants you. He wants me. He wants us. He wants the people of Trinidad and Tobago to give him what? 5 more years. Would you give him 5 more years? Would you give Rowley 5 more years? That is what the emperor is seeking through this campaign he has begun. Brothers and sisters, after 9 years of what you can describe as Hurricane Rowley, over 4,000 of our citizens have been murdered. Over 4,000 of our citizens have been murdered under Rowley. Understand that? Whether it's Granny, whether it's this little young boy called Ezekiel Paria who wanted to be a pilot, he dead. Whether it's the lady who was relaxing in Valsain, Vicky Richards, a former actress, she dead. Hyacinth Gardner come from the United States to do some repairs to her house. She dead. No one is safe under the emperor. No one is safe under Papa Doc. The man could not even deal with COVID. 4,000 people died under Papa Doc. Never forget that. This PNM reminds me of Ali Baba and his 40 thieves. After 9 years, our foreign exchange reserves are at their lowest in 18 years. We are now, according to our information, and they don't want to publish it, we have to move from 6 billion US to 5.8 billion US. After 9 years, our oil production is at an 85-year low. After 9 years, our natural gas production is at a 20-year low. That is where we are today. The middle class are being pauperized. The working class are being brutalized cruelly by this government. That is where we are. Brothers and sisters, I want you never ever to forget when the emperor and his crew of imposters appeared on the political stage of this country. Never ever forget that they increased the price of fuel on no fewer than 6 times. Don't ever forget that. Brothers and sisters, under our leader, under our next prime minister, under our visionary, the Honorable Kamala Persad-Bissessar, when she came there, she spent 5 years. Diesel was $1.50 per liter. When Kamala left in 2015, it was $1.50 per liter. She never ever increased the price of diesel. As soon as these national traitors and thieves arrive on the scene, they increase. You know, diesel has now been increased from $1.50 to $3.91. That is almost 160% increase in 9 years. Brothers and sisters, super unleaded. When we left office under our leader, it was $2.70 per liter. You know where the emperor took it? $6.97 per liter, 160% increase in 9 years. Never forget that. Understand the impact that has had on your life, on your transportation costs, on food prices. That is the man. And then here was this criminal. These fellows should be in jail. Listen, when we come into power with your support, we are going to conduct a series of investigations into these fellas. I want Rowley to tell the country. Now remember I spoke about political blackmail and extortion. Here the Prime Minister in a Newsday article, Thursday, March 2024. The headline, Prime Minister stalled property tax, Revenue Authority can send TNT to the IMF. Here it is. Here it is. Brothers and sisters, what is that? That is blackmail. We are not responsible for what is taking place in the country. It is your economic policies, your trickle-down economics that has Trinidad and Tobago where it is today. So don't come and blame the people and say, if you don't pay property tax, I am going to bring IMF. No, brothers and sisters. We're not taking that. I want to tell you something. I have 2 examples to bring to your attention tonight, this evening. 2 pensioners. One in Tacarigua and one in Dabadi. They got their notices in the mail. These people live in 3-bedroom homes. You know, one of those notices for my pensioner friend in Tacarigua, you know how much it came up to? They're operating through remote control. They're not coming to your house. They're just determining what the value of your house is from a distance. So they estimated this gentleman's 4-bedroom house at $265,000 a year. In other words, they are saying that he can fetch $22,000 a month on his property. But who tell them that? And then he gets the assessment from the Board of Inland Revenue. What is that assessment? $7,200 a year. Now tell me where a pensioner is going to get $7,200 a year. Where? Where? Our next pensioner from Dabadi, he living in a 3-bedroom house. They sent him a notice. $305,000 they say he could get in rental for the year. They give him from the Board of Inland Revenue an assessment of $10,000 a year. Where is he going to get $10,000 a year to pay for the property tax? Listen to me carefully, brothers and sisters. Listen to me. The United National Congress, through our leader, we are telling the people of Trinidad and Tobago tonight, when the UNC returns to office and repower with your support, we are going to scrap the property tax. I want to repeat, your future is in the hands of you. If you don't pay, like my friend in Tacarigua, $7,000 by September, interest is 10% or 15%. After that, they come and they take your fridge, your stove, your ironing board, wherever, to get their taxes. And if that cannot suffice, they're selling your house. They're selling your house, brothers and sisters. I am calling on the people of Pointe-a-Pierre and the people of Trinidad and Tobago to recognize that you have your interests to protect. And the UNC will scrap the property tax when we get into office. I don't want to tell you, don't fill out no form. I have my own formula, but as a personal view, I ain't discussed that with the leader. But I have my own formula for Rowley. And this man who told the country, you know, in this kind of ugly grin that he has, he said, you know, I raise gas once, they riot. I raise gas twice, they riot. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to raise it a third time. Well, that man raised gas in 1 year. In October of 2015, 15%. April of 2016, 15%. And by October of 2016, 15%. 3 times. Listen, if I was in a football field, I would have taken out as a referee the red card and send the PNM off the field. Send them off. But you know what is really troubling, brothers and sisters, and what is most heart-wrenching? I have before me something called Act number 7 of 2016. I want you to listen carefully. Act number 7 of 2016. I want to tell you how these people are fixing up themselves, and they don't care nothing about you and me and us and the ordinary people. Hear what this tell you? Brothers and sisters, hear what them fellas did. They bring something under what is called Part 5 of the Finance Act. You recall Imbert telling us about multi-family dwelling apartments. Remember? Look at here. When you thought it was for you and me and ordinary people. No, it wasn't for you and me. It wasn't for you and me. Him bought his family in some company called Belgrave Properties, purchased 3 lots of land in Newtown, Port of Spain, put up 20 apartments, 20 apartments called Alora. Alora sold each one, I understand, for $3.5 million, equivalent to $70 million. You know what this man brought the parliament to do? Let me read it for you. That man brought a bill to exempt him and others from income tax until the year December 31st, 2025. Hear this carefully. Listen. I'm going to call on my brother Kevin to give you a demonstration of these things. You see it? Alora. Hear what it says. Subject to section 2. Right, subject to section 2. Premiums and any other costs associated with a multi-family dwelling. You are exempt from that. All gains and profits on the initial sale of these apartments, you pay no tax on it. If you're renting or leasing any of these, both pay no tax. So he selling an apartment for $3.5 million under this act. He's paying no income tax. He's paying no taxes. No taxes. I want to go quickly to another one. Inez Gate. 46 private houses in a place called Chauvin, Tobago. His business partner, Alan Warner. And our Alan Warner buildings, 46. He pay no taxes. And he get, because he passed a law saying he must not pay, but you must pay. You must pay property tax. Brothers and sisters, then there is the emperor himself. Bring up the emperor. Look the emperor. The emperor built a 5-apartment palace on landed in Tobago. I want to ask all of them, how have you benefited from this? Have you paid taxes? Let us see the receipts. You build this for $3.8 million. You borrow the money? From which bank? Let me see all the documents. We call on the emperor tonight to explain your wealth. Explain your wealth. So whilst we are being called upon to pay property tax, them getting away scot-free according to this piece of legislation. Let them deny it. We are asking on your behalf today, Alora Apartments. We are asking on the Inet Gate 46 private townhouses. And we asking on these 5 apartments purportedly owned by a fella known as the Emperor. We want them to tell Trinidad and Tobago whether this piece of legislation was passed especially to benefit them. And they call it on you to pay. We are not paying no property tax. And the UNC will scrap the property tax. So, brothers and sisters, I don't have much time. What I can tell you tonight is that these people have betrayed you. They have punished you. They have oppressed you. Brothers and sisters, the time has come for us to rally, for us to unite, for us to unify. And let us together, like a tsunami, sweep the entire corrupt PNM out of office. So whenever the general elections are called in Trinidad and Tobago, be it this year or be it next year, whenever it is called, we telling PNM and that crew, your cuckoo properly cooked. Let us move together in a united fashion. And in closing, I want to tell you something. You see this party? This party is 35 years old. 35 years old. It was built on the sweat, the blood, the tears of you, the working people of Trinidad and Tobago. We have no vacancy in the political leadership of our party. None. You know, in some people's quest for progress, sometimes ambition exceeds talent. I want some of these people to ponder on this. Ambition exceeds talent. We have one mission. We have one vision. We have one leader. We have one party. And together, united, we are going to roll back oppression, roll back exploitation, roll back advantage against the people by this government. So we have to stand together and get rid of this criminal enterprise posing as a government in Trinidad and Tobago. Let us, brothers and sisters, go ever forward. Forward ever, backward never. Forward ever, backward never. Forward ever, backward never. Long live the UNC. Long live Kamla Prasad Center.
That was a powerhouse. Let us get a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. He was up to mark tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, the host MP is next. But I want to tell you something before he comes. On his regular Saturday walkabout in the constituency of Point-a-Pierre, we were told weeks upon weeks about the water woes in these areas. France Gardens, Rose Hill, Mangotville, Suku Trace, Mito Avenue, Ramsar Trace, and the entire Cedar Hill Road. He will tell you more about it. But ladies and gentlemen, I tell you, time longer than twine, and the PNM will have to go. They will have to go. Our next speaker, as I said, the man who has been the former chairman of the MIC Institute of Technology, deputy political leader of the United National Congress, powerful speaker on the nation's energy security as the opposition shadow for energy affairs, opposition chief whip, and a member of parliament for Pointe-à-Pierre, and who will be returning as the next member of parliament for Pointe-à-Pierre in 2025. David Lee, the Honorable.
A bumper crowd here tonight. I want to start off by saying, and I agree with Mr. Mark, that you cannot have ambition which exceeds your talent here. And we have no vacancy for leadership in this country under the United National Congress. The only leader we have is the Honorable Kamla Prasad-Bissessar. The people of Pointe-à-Pierre, are you ready tonight to vote out this wicked PNM? It is very difficult coming after Senator Wade Mark. He's always on top of his game. I don't know what else to say here tonight. I surrender for Wade Mark. I surrender. Tonight, the people of Pointe-à-Pierre are out in their hundreds, as you see here tonight. And we are ready to vote out this government who has deceived our citizens. Tonight, we are ready to stand up against a government that has destroyed our economy and national way of life. Tonight, we are rallying behind the only leader, Kamla Prasad-Bissessar, and the United National Congress against a government that has acted spitefully, inflicting pain on our people. Trinidad and Tobago, tonight we ask you to join us in Pointe-à-Pierre in saying it is time to take back our country and make it safe again. We must stand up and say no more. We must stand up and say no more. And give it up to Vandana Mohit, our brilliant and bright, beautiful MP in Chaguanas East. The Prime Minister told us that this election will be the most significant election in TNT's history. They bring the pink poodle to talk in Chaguanas East, as Vandana said. But he sounded like he had water in his diesel when he spoke because he was stuttering. Our country is at a crisis point, my brothers and sisters. Our country is at a breaking point. You really believe Rowley has your interests at heart? We are at a disaster point, and every single day this government remains in charge, our lives are being destroyed. Let me remind you what is the record of this wicked PNM under Keith Christopher Rowley. The PNM destroyed our energy sector by shutting down. And I can we stand for the arrival of our great political leader, the only leader of the United National Congress, the Honorable Kamla Prasad-Bissessar, as she comes and enters Pointe-à-Pierre, a capacity crowd right here in the Macalais community on Hermitage in Claxton Day. Say welcome to our political leader, the Honorable Kamla Prasad-Bissessar.
So as the box swing up, so I get up. They have to wonder how others get up. And every crack I see, I don't see through. And by the help of God, I don't get through. I just want love. I feel like home. Move any mountain, I trample any building like home. Man better than monster. Dismantle any
There's a massive crowd here in Macalais tonight. As our leader tries to make our way through.
Trials and best things does come before blessings, but we have to be patient, yeah. Weeping and mourning in the night, but joy in the morning. But we just have to endure. You see, God, the way the night comes, so you don't really need the light up. Them say what was around comes straight back around. I go wait until the time comes. So from sunset to sunset, look at that child was in a sweat. I feel like
as we welcome our leader to Point of Pear and the community of Macaulay. We welcome our leader, led by our Macaulay, our in-house TASA group. Welcome our great leader, the Honorable Kamala Peseso, who takes a seat in our lovely village of Macaulay in the community of Claxton Bay and the Point of Pear constituency. We welcome our great leader, the Honorable Kamala Peseso. Good night, leader. We welcome you. And she is beautiful as ever. She's looking radiant here. Lovely as ever. I want to thank my TASA group, who just played our David Lee TASA group. That was David Lee TASA group. Let me remind you, my brothers and sisters, of the record of the PNM of 2024 under Keith Christopher Rowley. The PNM destroyed our energy sector by shutting down Petrotrin refinery. He killed it out. The PNM has destroyed your energy security by crashing our oil and gas production. The PNM has weakened Point Lisas with the most plant closures. We know this. The PNM has stopped the best program our young women and men has ever seen, our laptop program by the Honorable Kamala Peseso. The PNM has eroded your safety and security. Fuel prices 6 times, as Senator Mark said. And we as a country has said nothing, my brothers and sisters. They're giving us property tax and we ras. Rowley buffed up his own supporter in the Panyard in Sando West the other night. He buffed up the man. He didn't expect what the man would have asked him. The man said, "You're a great leader," and then he asked him about property tax. And Rowley buffed him up. The poor man ran. And Rowley was sitting on a white couch. A white couch in a Panyard. Now tell me, if that is not disrespect to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, I don't know what is. And the other night in Shogunas, he bring the pink poodle. Trinidad and Tobago, don't fall for Rowley old talk. And the PNM have your interests at heart. Just look at his ministers and the ministries that they're in charge of. Could you name one thing that is happening in our education sector? They have not built one school in the last 8 years. They have not done anything in our medical health industry. Our drugs, there's shortage in our health sector, in our hospitals. And don't talk about public utilities under that Barry Padarat shadows. We get no water. We are crying for water in our country. The PNM has a habit of going on the platform to say the opposition lies. There's no bigger stranger to the truth than this Prime Minister. No other leader has disrespected Parliament by reading. Remember the fake email, and we call it Email Gate? This is Rowley track record. Up to this day, the country is still waiting for him to deliver on his 2022 promises to reduce price of fuels. Today, over 130 local government representatives are still waiting on that promised reform and higher salaries. Not a dime has come since election, and our Honorable Kamala Prasad-Bissessar told you all that they're not going to do it. They promise you and they lie. Right here in Pointe-a-Pierre, tens of thousands have never recovered from the biggest lie this Prime Minister ever told. And I'll tell you the first lie. The government, he said, the government not closing down Petrotrin. Prime Minister Rowley told you right here in Marabella on September the 5th, 2018. 2 months later, he killed it. Listen to another lie. Lie 2. The government is accurately aware of the traumatic effects of this development on all our workers, their families, and the wider fence-line communities, such as Marabella, Pointe-a-Pierre, Gasparillo, San Fernando, and surroundings. The wider population in these fence-line communities will benefit from some deliberate additional government expenditure on infrastructure and social support. He has never kept this promise. What he has said about the waterfront project. Up to the day, after 8 years on the San Fernando water project, all they have been able to do is build a $100 million car park that nobody parks in. And that is what they call development in San Fernando West. But Alwari have to take it. Because the other night in the Panyard, I hear he buffing up Alwari and tell him, when he got on the mic, don't talk too long. Don't talk too long. Don't talk too long. So that's the track record of Alwari now, huh? Don't talk too long. Right? So brothers and sisters, I want to also say, on Rowley's, he has a memory loss on Petrotrin. He's forget, because he's come and tell you, he don't lie. Who put Petrotrin in billions in debt? It's not the UNC or Kamala Prasad-Bissessar. It's Malcolm Jones, as Senator Leiter says. And I want to welcome Senator Jayanti Lakshmidiyal here tonight. My eyes just glimpsed her. Did the government ever hold Malcolm Jones accountable? Not this PNM. They dropped the case against him that we had him in court. Who recommended that Petrotrin be closed? No one. Not the last report, not the Solomon report, not even Wilfred Espinay, the last chairman. So we asking Keith Christopher Rowley, what is the real reason why you closed down Petrotrin? Now, my leader knows the reason, but we wouldn't say it here tonight. We'll say it in court. We'll say it in court. Today as a country, you are feeling the pain of the foreign exchange shortage because Petrotrin was a net earner of Forex. South Trinidad has been decimated because today many of our Petrotrin workers remain unemployed and this government failed to provide a single job. And I want to tell you something interesting. They have shut down Petrotrin, and right here in Claxton Bay, this government with BP, NGC, and Shell is doing a project called the Brechin Castle Solar Farm Project. They have shown total disrespect for the people of Pointe-a-Pierre in this project. The workers of Pointe-a-Pierre are now acting up because they are seeing on a daily basis outsiders coming to get jobs on this project right here in Claxton Bay. I have had a telephone conversation this afternoon with BP, NGC, and Shell, and they have promised me to correct the ills that they have done so far to the people of Pointe-a-Pierre. So we are holding them accountable that jobs will be given to our brothers and sisters right here in Pointe-a-Pierre. Because they only found out this afternoon that this project is in Claxton Bay, and Claxton Bay falls under the Pointe-a-Pierre United National Congress. Tonight I want to tell Prime Minister Rowley and Stuart Young, do not try to wash your hands from this. We are going to hold you accountable for the people of Pointe-a-Pierre. I want to say one more thing on Nikon. Nikon was a total failure. Every time Rowley comes and turns the sword in something in Pointe-a-Pierre, the next week something is blown up. Right? That's the history of Prime Minister Rowley in Pointe-a-Pierre. Every time he turns his sword for something in Pointe-a-Pierre, something blows up the following week. You know why? Because of the wickedness he did in shutting down that refinery and put thousands of people on the bread line. That is called, what they call it? Karma. Karma, my brothers and sisters. My little brothers and sisters, I know our political leader is here and we have said a lot here tonight. But before I close, I want to say, if dealing with deceit and destruction as a country was not bad enough, our citizens have had to endure one of the most spiteful governments in our history. Time after time, development in opposition constituencies are ignored. Right here in Pointe-a-Pierre, the Marabella ECC Center, which was 95% completed under the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa and Dr. Gopi Singh, since 2015, has not been open to date. I asked the Minister of Education, and she said that we sleeping in the job. She blamed my colleague from Tabakit, the MP for Tabakit, Anita Haynes, the beautiful Anita Haynes, who you heard here tonight. She's sleeping on the job. Could you imagine Anita Haynes is now considered the Minister of Education? If Anita Haynes was the Minister of Education, I want to tell you, she would have built schools. As the Minister of Education, Kamla Prasad Bisesa, she would have opened the Marabella ECC Center for the people of Pointe-a-Pierre. And you see right here in Claxon Bay, which they have shut down and have promised to build the primary Anglican school, which has been still closed. Anita Haynes would have opened that for the people of Pointe-a-Pierre. Because we, under Kamla Prasad Bisesa, it was a performing government, and we return to give you the kind of performance that under the Kamla Prasad Bisesa. Right, we understand that. I want to say, I know I have some colleagues here. I want to say something about the Paria divers. It's heartless. It has been almost 2 months since this Paria port has been laid. And this government has made 0 attempts to act on a single recommendation. The report recommended compensation for these families, and they are being denied that. I want to compliment my colleague, MP for Cuba South, for continuing to ensure that justice is called for these families. The Prime Minister is refusing to even engage with these families. And I ask, is it because they are from UNC constituencies? Tonight we ask, how can this government be a government for all when there have been no action on this Paria report? 2 years ago, these families were literally left in the rain in a car park while their loved ones suffered. Why is this government prolonging that pain? We ask again, have the contracts of Colin Piper, Mustaq Mohammed been renewed? After the damning findings of the report, are the taxpayers still paying Colin Piper's salary? Trinidad and Tobago, if you ever wanted a reason to vote out this government, let the spite and disdain offered to the Paria victims be that reason, my brothers and sisters. And as I come to an end, I don't want to run over time because my honorable leader is here to tell us a lot. Trinidad and Tobago, let us all be on guard for elections. Whenever they are, being on guard means supporting someone who has your interests at heart. This is a government that placed priority on lending $50 million to a Jamaican toilet paper factory when our SMEs were struggling here. This is a government that placed priority on repairing the magnificent 7 houses around the savannah while you suffered for roads. This is a government that has placed priority on funding the soccer on the seas while they cut our laptop programs. Never for once believe that this government has your best interests at heart. However, there's a leader and team that has your best interests at heart, and that is Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa. As your opposition leader, she has gone to court, she has gone to the streets, and she has gone to Parliament to fight for you. She has been the only leader, creating a potent conversation on fighting crime. The only leader. She has been the only leader fighting against the dreaded property tax. She has been the only leader fighting this wicked government infringement on the Constitution with Nelson Gate and the police merit list. As your opposition chief whip, tonight I tell this country, Kamala has your back and you are safe in the hands of the Honorable Kamala Persad-Bissessar. And as I close, I want to remind you who are listening out there, don't let your ambition exceed your talent, my brothers and sisters. I want to remind you, don't allow your ambition to exceed your talent. Don't be fooled. Not everybody can be a leader. Tonight I tell this country, as the MP for Pointe-a-Pierre, Pointe-a-Pierre is solidly behind Kamala Persad-Bissessar as you join to save our nation and bring back good governance in our country. I thank you, I thank you, I thank you. Before I close and bring up the Honorable Kamala Persad-Bissessar, I want to thank all my staff. I might not get the opportunity. See all this hall? It was done by the staff and team of the Pointe-a-Pierre office and some great people in our village in Lalu Trace. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Good night.
May you go see blood, and if you squeeze me, you go feel the love. We are one people under the sun, one nation under the law. So who feel the black? Who feel the white? I don't know. But it's settled tomorrow night. Who feel the wrong? Who feel the right? Come and go. And all who feel the too bright, let me jump up, let me wind up, party non-stop.
Okay. Tonight it feels like the election has been called. Do you feel it? Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's thank Alderman Viliana for chairing tonight, and Councillor Rajbal. Thank you so much. Brilliant UNC speakers tonight, MP Vandana Mohit, MP Anita Haynes, Senator Wade Mark, and of course, the only Chinese in the UNC as an MP. The only Chinese MP. Your MP for Pointe-a-Pierre, David Lee. I also acknowledge with us here Mayor Meru, the first mayor of Saparia. Thank you. MP Indar Singh, MP Dr. Bodo on this side. I think MP Rati Ram is here. Can we welcome Jant? Haven't seen her for a while. She's looking blooming and gorgeous and beautiful. Senator Damian Lyda. And of course, I stopped using slate since I left primary school. So I don't want any slates at all, Damian. Don't put me in trouble. Don't put me in trouble. MP Anna Ram is somewhere with us. Councillors, aldermen, all of you. I'm so happy to be with you tonight. And MP Tanku, well, he's sitting in the back. You know, MP takes a back seat sometime, but he's a great MP. Big enough for MP Tanku, chairman of our great party, MP Tanku, and all the others, okay? You know, today I believe we begin the holy month of Ramadan, yes? So I feel truly blessed by Almighty God to live among so many Muslims in our very beautiful country, including my own daughter-in-law, who comes from a Muslim family. Being in touch and distance with our Muslim brothers and sisters reminds me every day about the humility we all need in building strength of character and warmth. May your fast and performance of Salah bring light to you and your family this Ramadan. And may your love, service, and sacrifice during the holy month keep doors open for you forever. So I wish you happy Ramadan as we begin tonight to our Muslim brothers and sisters. And we are also in a very blessed time. We are in the season of Lent. And just on, was it Barry, Saturday? Shivaratri, we were all over the country Friday evening, yes. Blessings for Shivaratri. So it's a very blessed month that we are in now, with all spiritually, yes, that all our major religions and all of us is one God. See no race, see only grace in every face. To all our brothers and sisters, Christian, Hindu, Muslim, let's give everybody a round of applause. Let us continue to live together. TNT is a very blessed place, you know, because it's the only place you can see. There's no religious strife. There's none. Some may want to make it happen, but we must make sure not to let it happen. So I thank all our speakers. I welcome all of you, and I want to really extend very warm congratulations to who? Ashe. You know the name? Ashe Abrams. Congrats. Best wishes. As a daughter of our soil, she united our nation with her passion, her purpose, and she is Miss Trinidad and Tobago, and now she's a continental leader here for the Caribbean and Latin America. Let's give her a round of applause and feel proud. Against massive crime, high food prices, poor living and working conditions, Ashe brought hope and unity to a beleaguered population. Her charm, her intelligence, and beauty uplifted us all on the world stage. To you we say, Ashe, thank you. Can we say thank you, Ashe, for uplifting our nation? Now I'm sure you've noticed the election ritual of this present government. They've started that ritual again. The Prime Minister said that general elections will be held soon. But you know he lies, so they really told you how many times he's lied, and you all remember yourself. So whenever you call it, Prime Minister, we are ready tonight. I announce the UNC will close nominations for the general election 30th April. Mark the date. And we will begin screening in May of this year. Are you ready? Are you ready? So they have been, the PNM on general election footing since when? They're forever on general election, screening and footing. So the campaign is now in full swing. Around election, up, be prepared. 1, blame UNC. PNM propaganda, blame UNC. 2, blame Kamla. 3, blame the people. 4, cry race. 5, lie for everything. 6, repeat over and over and over and over again. Start back the playbook. Blame the UNC. Blame Kamla. 3, blame people. Every time he speaks. Dr. Munial, welcome. Let's welcome Dr. Munial. So then he moves, well, blame the UNC, blame Kamla, blame people. Always on a platform blaming everyone except his own incompetent government. And then what? Always crying race. I say people, I say see grace in every face, not race. Not race, please. I told you last time I spoke, if you cut my hand, or you cut yours, or yours, what will you see? Same red blood. We are all human beings. We are all children of God. So don't come and use that race card this election. It will not work. And I tell you why. When you look at this crowd here tonight, when you see diversity, then you know the UNC is a party for everyone. So what has he been doing for the past several weeks? Same old race card, lying, blaming everyone, and throwing tantrums. At every PNM meeting, one unfortunate person might come steam, and some of them are here tonight. They get an assignment. You know what's the assignment? You have to listen to that meeting and send me the notes, because I'm not going to sit down there for hours listening to all that foolishness. So they send me the report. And you know, reports are not new. Guarantee, every report is the same. It's the same. It's the same playbook. The same playbook I read for you. Blame UNC. Man, you have been in office for nearly 9 years. You are governing, looking in the rearview mirror, looking back, blame UNC, blame Kamala, and blame the whole world. Those reports, nothing new. Same old propaganda playbook, nothing sensible, so I don't have to respond to him at all on the foolishness that happened in his last 2 meetings. But you know what was happening? Why did he have 2 meetings last week? You really believe he's going to call the election? I don't believe it. But he calls 2 meetings in 1 week. Why? Because he gone again. He gone again. Friday, no parliament. Postpone the parliament yet again. They use the parliament as a toy, you know, conveniently. So he's going again, so he calls 2 meetings. I say, look, I'm very busy. I'm going to be talking to you all the time now from henceforth, because elections soon. And then he goes, goodbye. Do we know where he's gone? Anybody knows? Gone, just gone, just gone. Well, you remember the song we used to sing for Mr. Manning? Gona, Mr. Rowley, Gona. Just go and do not come back. Do not come back, do not come back. So come election day, our biggest weapon, their weapon, everybody's weapon is, guess what? The voting finger. We don't need guns for that, arms, ammunition, this. Show me your voting finger. And vote for the change you want. Vote for the UNC, restoring good governance, peace, and prosperity. Let me see you. Vote UNC. I am warning you, there will be all kinds of tactics to damage us from within and outside. Always remember, we must put our rank and file supporters first. This is not about me promoting the children of UNC to Parliament. You know, in 2020, you all remember, in that election, four local government reps were promoted into the Parliament. You all remember that? Khadija Amin, Vandana, Ravi, Michelle, Benjamin, from the rank and file of the UNC, they were promoted into the largest house, the House of Representatives. And then I also promoted some of our activists, you remember? Dr. Rishad, MP for Caroni, MP Arnold Ram. And I hope in this election, we'll promote more of our activists on our rank and file. The UNC must promote upwards from within. Activists must know they can become councillors. Councillors know that they can become an MP or a senator. And so candidates will be selected on merit. I told you we close nominations April 30. So get your forms, they're available at the headquarters. Everyone has a chance to file a nomination. And then our screening committee will make that decision. So you know why I'm still here fighting for you? I know those who worked. I know those who have sacrificed. I know those who failed. I know those who toiled. I know the members, the supporters, activists, and local government reps who work hard to mobilize for UNC events, and they go above and beyond the call of duty for a great party. I know the work is tiring, but if you cannot handle the space, you will not be able to handle the pace of government. So you're on a track run, you're on a training ground. From now until that election is called, you come out, you work for your great party, and you mobilize for the UNC to form government. I say to all rank and file members, supporters, activists, and councillors, you have toiled for about almost 9 years, and we have kept together. For those who say our great party cannot win, tell them they lie. The UNC will win the next election. We have kept together for almost 9 years. We just have a few more months to go. Can you wait? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready to go? They already see, don't let your ambition, what? Exceed your talent. You remember the story from the Bible with the man with all the talents? Don't let your ambition exceed your talent. There is a space and a place for everyone in the great party of the UNC. So I said, I know the work is tiring. We've been at it for almost 9 years, almost. I think Janti has a 9 months period waiting for a new UNC member to be born. Can we congratulate her? Less than 9 months to go. Congrats, Janti. I've always led from the front. I lead my infantry. My scars are on my chest because I have never run from a fight to protect you and the UNC children. I will fight for our party and my loving rank and file members as long as I live. I always tell you, you have had leaders before me. You will have leaders after me. But you will never, ever have a leader who loves you as much as I do. The UNC will win the soon-to-be-called election. This is your time. Stay united. Stay focused. Do not be distracted by those who did not work or sacrifice as you did. Our great party was founded over 3 decades ago. In April, we will celebrate over 30 years of this great party, the birthday of our party, anniversary. The UNC is a strong fighting force and will be the next government of TNT. Will you be part of that government? Again, I tell you, don't get fooled. Do not get fooled by those who push the big lie that the UNC cannot topple the PNM. We did it once, we did it twice, and we shall do it thrice. We shall do it again. Our party is an institution in which over 300,000 people have placed their trust. I want to remind you that 43,000 more people voted for the UNC in the last local government election than they did for the PNM. And that track record, I want to remind you, we fought less seats than the PNM, but we gained more votes. So don't get fooled and chained up. We fought, I think it's 31 seats we gave to another party. So we fought 31 seats less than the PNM, but we got UNC 43,000 votes more than the PNM. Our track record is there for all to see. As Prime Minister, when I led our country, there are so many projects which you can see and utilize. Hospitals, schools, sporting facilities, the cycling velodrome, the aquatic center. I can go on. You know, I continue on the deliveries and the projects. I'll be here till Christmas. So I don't want Christmas to find me here. I want Christmas to find us where? In government. In government. As Prime Minister, Not only did I develop our country, but we worked to ensure that the nation was safe and people were happy. The Children's Life Fund. I'll share something that should be secret, but now it's gone so far I can share it with you. I had promised you in the 2010 campaign, Rudy, you remember that? All of you, all MPs, you all remember. I promised you a Children's Life Fund. Cabinet Note 1 of our government, 2010, was what? Children's Life Fund. And would you believe there was someone in that cabinet room who told me, don't do it. Rudy, you remember? You were there. You remember? I won't call name, you'll call name. There was one member of that cabinet buffed me up. First cabinet meeting, Cabinet Note 1 of 2010. Don't do the Children's Life Fund. Why? We'll break the treasury. There will be a overrun and cost overrun and we can't afford it. Heaven help me and God is my witness and guide. I stood up. I will fight for you. I'll fight for us and fight for our children. And I stood up in that cabinet. I said, we are passing this Cabinet Note 1. And if you don't like it, you can leave. Of course, nobody left. Nobody left. And the rest is history. But we have more to do with that Children's Life. And Dr. Bodie, you know that. We have seen barriers raised it many times. There are children who are falling outside. We drafted the law, and law is not fixed forever. We can change it. We have called upon the PNM, change the law to allow more children to benefit from the Children's Life Fund. They will not change it. I promise you tonight, Cabinet Note 1 of the new UNC government will be Children's Life Fund Amendment Bill to allow our children to benefit. And I promise you this, we shall open the Cougar Children's Hospital once and for all. That hospital is a state-of-the-art hospital, modern equipment. They kept it shut out of spite and malice and ill will because they do not want people to see this magnificent hospital delivered. Dr. Bodo was involved in that project. Give him a round of applause. Jerlyn John, our Senator Jerlyn John, MP Dr. Munilal. I said together when we form the next government, we shall open that children's hospital in Cougar. They prolonged the sign too. But I told Dr. Munilal the other day in Parliament and some other colleagues, what's in a name? A rose by any other name is still a rose. And the Cougar Children's Hospital will still be the Cougar Children's Hospital. Now they completely abandoned that hospital. Huh? They only take a pandemic, the COVID, remember, and they open it up for people to sun out in the Cougar Children's Hospital. I understand that parts of it is being used as an eye clinic. So I'm happy if that is so. They're using it for cataract surgeries. I am grateful that some people, not just those who suffered with COVID, but others are able to go to that Cougar Children's Hospital if they're indeed doing the surgeries. Is that so, Dr. Bodo? An eye clinic maybe? A small amount, but we will open it as I said before. I want to talk about property tax because somebody sent me one long piece of paper. You know, we warned you guys about the property tax, remember? You still went and vote for those people. And you're coming by UNC, MPs, senators, and all of us councillors with your piece of, what is this thing called? It's called assessment. Here's one. Assessment. Okay? Why you bring this to my office now? You know why? They brought it after the time expired to contest it. If you get an assessment, please object immediately if you're not happy with it, okay? Don't wait until the time has expired and then I'll bring this to my office now. What can I do? Except come here and cry with you and cry with others. And this assessment is so horrendous. They're telling this person they have to pay thousands of dollars. $3,500 before the 30th of September. So I said, what kind of house this is? I have to go and look at it. You know, I'll send MP Tanku, go down and look at this house. Talk to Maria, it's in Scott Road. Why does this person have to pay $3,500? You're only paying 3%. You're supposed to be only 3%. They value this person's house 147,000 and much more. So here the annual rental value. But why is this person has to pay now 3,000 plus? Janti, you're a lawyer. Check it out. I'll pass it to you. And Saddam is a lawyer. And Dave is a lawyer too. The amount of lawyers, Rudy is a lawyer too. We have so many lawyers in this party. And we can use them. So, people are now understanding what this property tax is about. When we warned you before the last election, you didn't listen. Well, some of you did not listen. You didn't know. You didn't fill it out, right? So, guess what's happening? Everybody was really law-abiding citizens, and they filled out their form. Those are the ones who are now getting these assessments. Because you identified yourself, you were a law-abiding person. So, that's where it comes. We warned you, but, say stick break in your ass. Who don't hear has to feel. So I'm warning you again. Once you get that assessment, file an objection. If you don't know what to do, how to do it, I name the lawyers. Rudal Munilal, Jayanti Lakshmidiyal, Dave Tanku, Saddam Hussein, Arnold Ram is a lawyer too, yes. Right? Not you, you're not a lawyer. You're a great supporter though, thank you so much. So, here it comes now. Now you all are whispering, everybody shh, shh, about the horror that has become us in Trinidad and Tobago. But one of my roles is to give a voice to those whispers that we hear as MPs. That is part of our roles as MPs, to voice loudly what you're whispering about. And you do not feel safe. You hate all these taxes and excuses for the taxes. This government has no right to ruin your ambition and cripple your standard of living. I see that people now understand how unfair and wicked this tax is, this property tax. People work for over 40 years. You paid income tax. You paid NIS. You paid health surcharge. You paid VAT, etc. Now, stamp duty. You are now being forced to pay this wicked tax. Pensioners who get a fraction of their previous income, they now face a charge of almost all of their pension. Think about it. All your pension. But you worked your whole life to build this house. And then the Prime Minister says, well, if you don't have a house, guess what? You don't pay property tax. So is he therefore, well, there are two things wrong with that demon, more than two. Is he then saying you better be homeless? Is he promoting homelessness? Don't own a home. But that is the one thing every family wants in this country. You want a home for your family. So you paid all these taxes in a lifetime. You're now a pensioner, you served your country, and you get a pittance of pension money. It is unfair. People are now feeling the brunt of this tax. The property tax is terrorizing people. But the Prime Minister tells the nation, last day when he spoke, I think it was in San Fernando last week, yes? And somebody raised the property tax issue. Yes, Viliana was right here, right in San Fernando there. Skipper Bunch, Panyard. I notice he's going to all the Panyards. You wonder why? Is it carnival time again? I don't know. He went Skipper Bunch and he's gone somewhere in Shagonas, Vandana. Tropical Angel Harps and so on. And he tells when somebody raised it in San Fernando about the property tax, he says that is his priority. So, Scotts Road property tax form I shared with you. A person there has to pay $4,000 in property tax. Anybody here knows where Scotts Road is? It's off the Rock Road. It's a way back behind in Pinal. $4,000. Do you know how much that is? That is almost 1 month and a half of old age pension. $4,000. So pensioners, as I say, who lived, sweated and worked to build a home for themselves, their pension cannot even pay that tax. That's a month's salary, $4,000 for some people. That's nobody's salary for some people. Some have none whatsoever. You may have inherited a house from your family, your parents, whatever. You may not have a job. You know, I went Shivaratri on Friday, I mentioned to you, and I went to the El Dorado Shiv Mandir. And I could not believe my eyes outside that mandir. It's hurting me as I speak of it, because I was not prepared for it. There were hundreds of people, men, women and children outside the mandir sitting on the pavement. Men, women and children. I have never seen that in Trinidad. I know in the past I would go down Patiram Trace down in your constituency, Rudy, would have some people seeking alms and help there. You know, some 20, 30. These were hundreds of people, you know. It was like you were seeing something from a foreign country. To see so many men, women, children of all ages, of all races, all TNT people come for alms. And unfortunately, I was not prepared for so many. We did have some. We had the sweets to give out. I told Khadija I'll give out. I was not prepared for that. It was like seeing something in the Middle East, seeing something, you know, going on in Gaza and in Palestine, and so see all these people begging for alms, man. It still hurts me. I want to work with Khadija, who helped us organize that event. If we could find back some of these people, and I'm asking you to help me so that we can give something to them. So I'm asking, why do we have to pay this property tax, online tax, income tax, VAT, value added tax, road tax? And I warned you about inheritance tax, you know. You're not taking me on, and they will come with that. Inheritance tax is coming, so when you leave it for your daughter Maria, Madam Joma, what will happen? She will have to pay inheritance tax. I'm warning you again, you all don't listen sometimes, and you go out there or you don't go out there. But this time you must make sure, go out there and put your voting finger and cast your X for the UNC. Is it normal now for a person in TNT to accept that any day, anywhere, they could be shot, kidnapped or raped? You know, I'm watching this Express, you know, today's Express. Girl 11 abducted and raped outside her home, man. An 11-year-old child outside. She was outside her home. I started reading the story. I could not read the whole story. It was so painful. It could be your daughter or mine. It could be your sister or mine. It could be any one of our girl children in this country. 11-year-old. And the Prime Minister says, all I want to do is talk about crime. Well, I'll continue talking about crime because you will not solve it. You will not deal with it. 11-year-old. Express front page today. And I'll come to the next headline story. I am a spy. Pastor admits he's a spy. And I'll come back to that in a minute. So, Rowley is not a ghoster, remember that. He's a man of flesh and blood. And he claims to be in charge. So if he's in charge, you must see that crime, criminality, property tax, inheritance tax, online purchase tax, they're all taking away your assets of ordinary people here. These assets are yours. You are the rightful owner of your property. And I told Graham, and I'll come back to the point. One is, he says, if you don't own a home, you don't pay tax. So then you come to the first point I made already, which is homelessness. I made that point. The second point is, if you don't own a home, then where are you living? On the streets? You are paying rent for somebody else's building. Rent. And you know what will happen, Rowley? Don't fool people. Your rental value will go up. If the owner of the property has to pay the tax, then you are renting, you think he's paying that tax for himself? Your rent will be increased. So be honest, Prime Minister. This property tax is wicked, and when you were there, when Mr. Manning tried to introduce it, you were so busy fighting on Manning that you supported property tax. You did not. In the parliament, he voted against it. He said $1 means a lot to every person. That's what he told the parliament then, when he was busy fighting his leader to become leader. He became the leader, and what happened? He's busy fighting you to get that same $1, 5 or 10 or 15. Yes. Yes. And all the meantime, Faris Al-Rawi, what you told me about Faris David Lee, you said, Faris, don't talk long. Well, the man doesn't even speak again. When last you heard him talking in the parliament? He used to talk every parliament, and the man just... Philip will get a nice word for him. Philip can find a word. I am not so unkind. Faris now, in the meantime, collecting what? Rents. Millions of dollars in rents. And not one property, is more than one. We know about one that was publicized. I think Janti has a whole list of all those properties, yes? So, their mismanagement is the greedy hand grabbing what is yours, that your home that you worked for is turning into sand. So where are you now? There's no way to sugarcoat that the home you paid for is now a rental unit under this government. That is what it is. You sacrificed and you built a home, and now you must pay government rent. That's what's going on in this property tax, like a rent, even though you own your own home, you have to pay the government to own a home. Property tax is like a rent they're taxing you with. And so you must decide how much more you want to lose. You must decide if you want 5 more years of losing what you earned. Rowley's answer about the unfair tax is that you don't have to pay it, I said it before, if you don't own a home. He's actually, I say, promoting what? Homelessness. So food in your house, in your kitchen. Electricity, thank you, embarrassing. Water rates going up, electricity, but they're holding it. Because as advisors say, boss, we have an election to win first. So you vote for them. Not only property tax, you'll be paying more electricity, you'll be paying more for water, and water which you don't even get. Cannot even get. So what's next? To not be a victim of home invasions, he will say what? Don't own a home. So if you don't own a house, guess what? You won't be a victim of home invasion. Mr. Rowley, I call in your wicked government, stop this property tax and go back to 2009. Land and building taxes. People can tolerate a slight increase against those 2009 rates, but these property tax violations are very wicked and very unfair, and it will take you out of government if you do not pay heed. He's not it. He said it at his last meeting, property tax is a priority. I want to move on now. Front page of the Express, the SSA. I am a spy. Pastor admits that he worked for the SSA. I want to put TNT on alert. What is unfolding with the SSA scandal is frightening and dangerous. It is a sign of a despot in charge of our country, a dictator and a despot. An independent security agency now has a hand-picked Rowley stooge at its head. This unit has the power and technology to spy on you, me, and every single person. They can monitor anyone and anything. I am urging you all not to fall for the smoke and mirrors, the big distraction and narrative that there was a significant national security threat. I think Dr. Munilal and Senator Janti, you all are raising this matter before the JSC of the Parliament. I wish you good luck because they don't want us to know what's happening there. They don't want to know. An independent arm of national security has now been Rowley branded. Not PNM branded, you know, Rowley branded. Because they are also spying on PNM members. And this spy man here, you know, when you read his story, see what's happening. Rowley plants in the EBC, the SSA, and the Integrity Commission. Every one of these independent institutions is a hand-picked Rowley man. But this dangerous one with the SSA, we see the stories as they unfold. The Express has reported that a pastor broke his silence and admitted, as he did here on the front page, that he was a spy. He worked in the SSA. What is interesting is that this pastor says that he has secret, sensitive information that proves a government official has links in the underworld. Not me, I'm just repeating what's in the story. Philip, I'm not going to get sued for defamation. I am just repeating what's in the Express today. And what's interesting, I repeat, he says that a government official has links to the underworld. Now, who is this official?
Is he coming? Is he coming?
I don't know. I can't say. Who is it? Is it Foster Cummins? Is that what you're asking me? I don't know. Or is it Fitzgerald Hines? I don't know. I don't know. So who is this government official? Maybe the pastor might talk a little more and let us know. Could be Hines, could be Foster, it could be Rowley himself. Who knows? We don't know. We do not know. Might be Stuart Young. Stuart Young. Might be, I don't know. But this man is brave and bold to say government official linked to the underworld. Is it Prime Minister trying to protect his minister or ministers who are allegedly involved in illegal activities? Is the PLM in bed with criminals? The pastor said there is no handle on crime because of crooks at high levels in the government and in the SSE. These are serious allegations, you know. Who are these crooks? What are they trying to hide? People don't understand the gravity and danger of Rowley influencing our security agencies. Look at what is happening right next door in Venezuela, where the army backs up Maduro. Haiti is in crisis because gangs have taken control. That nation is under siege. But Rowley used the SSA. Remember the famous saying, they call them the mongoose gangs. There's another word, little French. My French is not very good, but tonton, maku, yeah? Again, Philip could help me with those words, I'm sure. And will they use this agency to benefit in the election that is to come? Will they use it? Now, I'm being told, and I think Wayne Mark is collecting the data for us, they have moved many people out of the EBC. Across the length and breadth of the country, they have removed workers who are long-standing at the EBC, moved them out, and they're bringing in hand-picked people to work in the EBC. Why? There's an election to win. And we must make sure we have our eyes, our ears wide, bright, and open to ensure they do not thief this election again. We must make sure, are you ready? Can you do it? We have to do it. Why is it that they're not moving Hines as national security when the whole country knows it's a total failure? Yes? We should ask the pastor maybe. Could ask the pastor why. Why you would not move Hines? Did the government send the TTPS to raid the pastor's house because they are afraid that the pastor may have information on criminal activities taking place in the government? Serious matter. They have the TTPS wildly searching buildings for this information. But this information may already be in some people's mailboxes. You never know. I get a lot of things in my mailbox, so I'm asking the government to clear the air on this matter. Who are the two government ministers that the SSA was surveilling. Who are these two ministers and why? As I asked before, is he coming? I don't know. Is it Foster Cummins? I don't know. Or was it Hines? Who was it? I am told that the SSA was listening to people on the white list, which is a list of people government doesn't want any surveillance of. People on a white list, they said, don't listen to these. But were they actually checking those as part of our national security? Is it their family, their friends, criminal associates, and financiers? Is this why the government is running scared and concocting wild explanations for their actions? So tell us the truth. The firings were because government ministers were being surveilled for criminal activities and passing information to the criminal underworld. The truth will always come to light. Remember we told you, Mr. Kujo told us, great is the truth, and the truth shall prevail. We'll expose them at each point of the way. So as I close now, I just want to deal a little bit with the crime. Rowdy was crying last week that opposition only talking about crime. You know, since then, 6 people have been murdered in the last 24 hours. 6 persons. 110 murders in 71 days. More murders than days of the year. Almost 4,900 murders since they came into office. That is why we will keep talking about crime until we move them out of government legally. Gunmen in uniforms. Gunmen in uniforms. Kevin, can we get a clip up? Do you have it? Massacre. Yes, it's there. Massacre in Mayaro. Gunmen in uniforms resembling police shot and killed 4 gardeners in a camp in Mayaro in the early hours of Monday. I ask, is this government for real? I've said that if you are dead, nothing matters. So we will continue to speak of the crime. Because we must keep our citizens, Anita, what? Keep them alive. They must be alive. Nothing matters when you're dead. So the first and foremost duty of any government is safety and security of citizens. A nation's security is a foundation for prosperity. When a country is safe, the economy is solid. Foreign investments are made. Tourism is increased. The private sector grows. Businesses flourish and people have jobs and they're happy. What is the reality today? You are not safe in your home. Your children are not safe in our schools. The criminals are coming for you, invading your sanctuary and robbing, raping your own homes, terrorizing your families. You are not safe in your own home. You are not safe in your rented home. If you don't own the home, you're just not safe. I have promised you that if you vote for the UNC, we will bring stand your ground laws. We will give all law-abiding citizens access to legal firearms. You will have the means and power to defend yourself and your family in your home. And if you're against legal firearms for law-abiding citizens, well then don't apply. Those who want to apply, Damien, law-abiding, according to law, apply. If you're against getting a firearm, don't apply. It's like your laptops, you know. They told us those laptops was a Dwen and Parrot and da. Don't give the laptop, they stop the laptop program. And those parents who were complaining, along with Rowley, you didn't have to take the laptop. But not one family refused that laptop, not one. So it's the same with the legal firearms for law-abiding citizens. We set down proper mechanisms for have it structured and legal to check out persons who apply and so on. And if you are against that measure, answer is simple: do not apply. But others who are law-abiding and want it, you will have a chance. At the moment, we don't know who gets a legal firearm, who doesn't get, how it works, doesn't work. All the reports in the newspapers, we don't know. They says all the illegal firearms, number one weapon of choice, illegal firearms, murdering over 4,000 persons since they came in office.
Young cast, last, now everybody go to breakfast. Choco power for the result, nothing to discuss, cause I did win by default and without any doubt, I'm a me happy adult, I no go feed the girl, is out, I'm a mind that's you the talk, I put my
The crime every single day. I'll talk about it. Until we move you out of office and we bring back good governance to TNT. You know, you get up in the morning. Those of you who have children, or if you're young like me, you have grandchildren now. And you dress up these children and you send them to put on a little uniform. They look so cute, Rudy. Your son, look how cute he looks in his uniform. Put on your little shoes. Say, Jill, look how beautiful she looks, Barry, your daughter. You put your children, you deck them off nice in this uniform to go to school. And guess what? They are not safe in schools as well. Anita would have spoken about that. They're not safe at home. They're not safe in school. Can you imagine the horror that an innocent life is snuffed out? Ends up in a morgue, in a body bag. That is what is happening in our schools. I want to show you this video, Kevin, please. This is what's happening. Imagine they're trying to stab each other in school. That is what your children are dealing with every day in school. I recommend that we send full-time police officers to patrol our schools. And we must match that together with school support services. Anita tells me we've disbanded all the school support services we used to have. The 11-year-old was murdered now. There are reports the 11-year-old girl abducted and raped. I showed you that headline a short while ago. Imagine the nightmare and horror for the child and her family. The young and the old are being preyed upon. That's a pray with your E, P-R-E-Y-E-D. Just last week, a 79-year-old woman was killed in her home in Valsayn. And the government is angered because guess what? We're doing anti-crime talks. Perhaps the only red they see is the PNM t-shirts. They do not see the blood, the thousands of our citizens who have been murdered since they came into office. I want to let people know why Rowley is unbothered by crime and is now using the excuse that since the 1980s, crime has been a problem. He's not bothered because, hey, always there. Kabla and them you and say only crime, crime, crime. There's a record amount of people being murdered under this government. This is not an ancient problem. This is a PNM Rowley problem. Whenever the PNM is in power, the statistics skyrockets. I've spoken about Rowley's propaganda playbook, his tricks and his schemes. It is also now a usual pattern that when he wants to get rid of people, he makes up a scandal. He manufactures a scandal. He launches an investigation. And then what does he do? He installs his stooges in their positions. That's what he did before. He did it in Petrotrin. David spoke about Petrotrin. He made false claims against the company and workers to shut it down. And then what did he do? He put in a stooge. I think Kwame is his lawyer, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. He put his lawyer. Whenever the opposition raises questions about crime, the SSA, Petrotrin, Tobago oil spill, or any national issue in this country, he throws, like a spoiled brat, a tantrum, a childish tantrum. We will not stop talking about crime, and at our anti-crime talks, people are coming forward in massive numbers to talk. They want to raise their voices, they want to be heard, they want to talk about the injustice they face. They are victims of crimes, they're speaking out, and we must listen. I always told you, listen first and lead after. You cannot lead if you do not listen. This government is not listening to anyone in this country except themselves. They are tone deaf. Barry, that's the correct expression, tone deaf. They do not know what you feel out there, you know. And that is why we will keep talking and trying to find it, a way forward. As I conclude, I want to talk about unity and diversity. I am very proud to lead a very great party. There is diversity. There is equality. There is love, there is compassion, brilliance across the board. The UNC, as I said before, is a political vehicle for all. I want to urge other parties and persons, please, all energy and fighting spirit should be focused on this wicked government. The UNC House remains open to all with a shared vision of removing this wicked government and the vision and mission to restore good governance to TNT. Remember the days when our country was safe, when you could sleep soundly at night, when your children were protected. Remember the days when the cost of living, you could afford it, it was affordable, when food prices were not sky high. Remember the days when there were all avenues of educational and vocational opportunities for children, and then there were jobs for them. What we have now in TNT is an elite eater food oligarchy, feeding off the wealth of the land while our children suffer. Perhaps this is why people are not feeling the fire in their belly over the erosion of independent institutions, because they are more concerned about putting food on the table, providing for their families, ensuring they do not become a murder statistic. Arguing publicly is not communication, it is noise. We do not need noise. We need focus on the soon